Hello everyone, in this lesson we're going to discuss about the creation process of our proxy object, which is an essential process to bring down the computational steps of the dynamics to a minimal level. So what I've did is that first of all I've switched to my viewport 2.0 since it's really going to be very I can say a unique solution working in the 3D because viewport 2.0 is really a very boost to the geometry. I can have a very healthy FPS in this viewport. Okay, now the second thing is that I have created a layer which is the background layer, and in this layer I have added my BG elements. So just to avoid the selections, I have put that thing to the reference mode. I can also put that thing to the template mode also. That would really going to make my workflow and easier when I'm going to create a proxy object because I need to encapsulate the proxy object over this geometry. So again, I can come back to the reference mode, and before I just can start with that, I think so it would be a good idea to select all the high polygon object and just to create another layer by the name of, let's say, high underscore ball mesh, and just can save this layer, and we can also put that thing to the template mode. Okay, maybe I think first of all we can start with the reference. Now, what exactly is the process to create the low polygon proxy is really going to be straightforward. Those who are very much familiar with the NURBS curve and NURBS surface, they may could skip this lesson. For those who need some little bit refreshing, they can join this. Well, we're going to the create menu. Let's say go for CV, control vertices curve tool, and I would like to prefer the 3-degree the 3-degree curve. And just going to my front view, I can start by creating a simple curve. Let's say I must get start from the midsection of this ball, and simply by drawing some curves and maintaining the gaps of the curves, because I know that at the end of the day I have to convert them into polygon objects, and for that I need to maintain equal parameterizations, or you can say the topology. So I'm preferring myself to bring down those points first of all, just to complete a perfect encapsulations of the high polygon object, and as well to maintain the distance. But here in this region you can see that I'm just losing the equal distance, and that's not going to be any problem. So you can just mark those curves and points in an order to make the best low polygon model and to have the best encapsulations. So once you are done with your curve, you may just need to, I can say, bring that up. So, and I think so. I just need to reset my move tool since I was using some normal. All right, here it is. Fine. Now I just have got a more or less shape in terms of the curve. So what else I can have to do is that first of all, I need to bring down my pivot point over here because I know that I have to use the revolve tool in the NURBS sections. So the revolve tool will going to take the position from the point of the pivot, and from that it'll start taking the 360 turns. So what I can do is just press the D and again press the C to bring them over here. C is basically snap to the curves. Alright. And then I can go to the surface menus. With the surface, we can click to the revolve. So by doing this, you can have a low polygon proxy object. But you may could see that this is turning into the black. Well, the reason why, because I have already, I'm using under the lightings is something called two-sided lighting. For those who do not use this option, you may could have some problems in terms of the rendering, or in terms of, you can say, using the dynamics. But just for your add up, what I actually did was that I took a simple sphere and just reversed the normal and dropped the fluid over above the surface with the property the cube was made collision with the fluid, and as a result even the normals of the surface was also reversed, but the fluid was getting collide. So in case of the fluids, I could say that the reverse of the normal is also not going to be a problem. But as a rule of the 3D, I always, prefer certain protocols, and if I have to follow them, I guess the reverse of the normal is very, very important. So there's a simple process of that. Either you can convert them to poly, then can convert, or if you want, you can just simply go to the edit NURBS, and there must be something called reverse surface directions. So by doing that, now you have reversed the surface direction. All right, it's absolutely fine. First of all, let's just check this one. You can select this NURB surface. Let me just name it first of all. Let's say NURBS underscore proxy. All right. And I can select the high polygon object, which is this one. And under the modify, we can go for the snap line objects and something called the align objects, which is used to align the position of the X, Y, Z, depending upon the settings which we're going to use inside the tool. And let's say I can bring this thing to, first of all, let me just reset the one. And let's say I'm going to use the mid. And in that case, the last object must be aligned, all right, which is in my case is this one. So the NURBS curve will going to align towards this polygon object. And I don't want to use the world Y, otherwise it will going to take the mid value of the Y. So hitting the apply, I can see that more or less this NURBS newly created proxy geometry is encapsulating the high polygon object. But I don't want to use this NURB surface. So what I'm going to do next is that I can create under the modify menu, there's something called convert NURBS to the polygons. The options are straightforward. Let me just put that into the reset mode again, and let's say we want a complete quad based workflow, of course. And for the tessellation method, I like to prefer for the general, and the initial tessellation method, I like to go for the per surface per span hash of isopalm. What does it means that for all the isopalms having the certain amount of the u and v, we're going to have this value. So the number u would be 1 and the v would be 1, just to have a complete and a proper subdivisions. And in case of the v-type as well, we're going to stick to the per span hash of the isopalms. And we can hit apply. And again, I can put that thing to the center pivot. So this is basically my low polygon proxy object. But again, I can see there are certain problems. Like, first of all, I do not need the curve as well as the NURBS surface. So I can, first of all, I can just create another layer, and let's say we're going to name them as the NURBS proxy underscore curve. Just save them and just hide them so that they're not going to disturb us anymore. All right, at here you can see that there are a lot of polygons, and of course the section of the polygon is really very low, and you can see that they cannot be just simply can encapsulate my high polygon object, because my thoughts are just like that, we just have to create a low polygon object that should have more or less the silhouette of a high polygon matched, because if it is not, then it might going to be a lot of problems. So what I can do here is that I can go inside the input node and I can increase the V number, which is the vertical one, and let's say we can put that thing to, let's say, 3 for a start, and I guess that's really going to be good. But again, you can see that there are certain sections which I just cannot able to generate proper vertices in workflow, which is really very a simple way to work. So let's just do one thing. First of all, I'm going to put that thing again to the reference mode so that I cannot by mistakenly select my high polygon object. And there's a very simple workaround for that. You can just select the vertices and you can press the B, which is a shortcut for the uh, soft surfacing. And inside the soft surfacing also, I would like to tell you that instead of the volume, I like to prefer for the surface. All right. Now we can just press the B key and the middle mouse and can enhance the radius of our vertices, and that will really going to be helping us a lot to to expand it. Okay, that's good. And I think so if I can select this edge with a little slight tweak, and again this one, just a slight tweak, followed by this one. Okay, just make sure that you don't have a lot of scaling, because you also need to follow the overall surface. And I guess that's fine. That's really not going to be a problem. And finally, what we can do is that almost all the section is already get completed. So I don't think so a need of using a lot of scaling. I can just reduce my fall off a little bit more. And I think so that's really going to be good. So by following this, we have created actually our low polygon object. Okay, so now we are good to experiment the fluid inside this. So first of all, I'm going to name it up as a low underscore polygon underscore proxy. That's it. Now we are good to proceed to the next lesson to create the fluids.